everybody that I meet that is not where they want to be says they wish they were more consistent. And I always try to flip this for people and say, well, you are actually very consistent. And they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, you're just consistently doing the things you don't want to do.
We know all real estate agents want to acquire clients consistently so that they can grow their business and income for that great lifestyle. This broadcast brings you the best and top people in the industry to support that quest. This is Dave Fanale, and I'm here to bring you the Real Estate Skill Builder broadcast, Real Estate Talk-TGIF, brought to you by Real Estate Skill Builder and Align, your premier real estate solution. Hello and good morning, and welcome to number 416 in a row, episode 422 of Real Estate Talk TGIF. You know, for 8 years, and as I said, 416 weeks in a row, 422 episodes, as this is, I've had the privilege of sitting down with some of the biggest names and plenty of names you may not have known. And I've also had the privilege of talking with people I know you don't know, little names, local agents, right? But they're all in real estate, business, marketing, and entrepreneurship. Today's guest belongs firmly in the first category of the biggest names. Grant Wise wasn't never really interested in the playbook, while others were chasing the next shiny object. Grant was building companies, creating movements, challenging conventional thinking, helping entrepreneurs see opportunities where everyone else saw obstacles. From the early days of digital marketing to multiple successful business and now comarketing.com, Grant has earned a reputation as someone who just doesn't understand growth. He understands people and sales. He understands that at a level few ever will. I still remember you saying, Grant, once to me, or many times to me, he says, I love sales. It's not hard at all. It's easy. I love sales. Not because of the money, man, but because of, and not because of the recognition, but because sales at its best, it's about influence, about service, about relationships. It's about helping people make decisions that move their lives forward. You know, I first met Grant through Modern Moguls Marketing, Modern Agent Mastery, back when Facebook advertising was still the Wild West and nobody knew really what the hell they were doing. Most agents were trying to figure out what a Facebook ad even was. Grant was already teaching people how to use it to build a business, and he was alone in that blue ocean. He's a founder, a strategist, a podcaster, a philanthropist, a serial entrepreneur, and one of the most respected business minds in our industry. But as impressive as that all sounds, it's not what I admire most. What I'm most proud of is something far more important. And yes, this is a long intro, guys. Over the years, Grant and his family have become dear friends to me. And in a world where success often changes people, Grant has remained exactly who he is. And success comes many, many different ways. There's ups and downs, right side, left side, but genuinely a good man who cares deeply about the people around him and wants to see them win. And that's rare. Hey, Grant, welcome to the 8th anniversary show of Real Estate Talk TGIF.
Man, what an intro. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all the kind words and appreciate you and your friendship as well.
So, man, I talked about a lot of different things over the years that you've been involved with, but there's, and you know, I know there's been ups and downs, and a lot of people see the success part of everything, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, one of the other things that you and I have an interest in common was that thing called baseball as well.
Yeah.
And you went from in baseball and a young entrepreneur being starting a brokerage and all different kinds of things. So tell me along the lines of where we're at with co-marketing thing, what that journey did to you. I mean, we understand the journey, but tell me about your journey in terms of, you know, how you were able to go and fight and always keep fighting.
Man, I don't know. There's a few things there. I guess it probably starts with my mom. She always told me that I was going to be great, and I don't feel great yet. So there's that just like biological, instinctual, like desire to just keep going out there and doing the thing. 'Cause I do feel called to something bigger. But I think the other part of that is just the faith. You know, my faith's really important to me, and it's not something I talk an enormous amount about, but biblically speaking, it's, you know, you are to die to yourself daily. Like, so it's really not about me. It's about serving. And that's why I can get up and have the really bad days, which entrepreneurship gives you on a regular basis.
Yep.
And I would say, people say with no loss of enthusiasm, sometimes I'm not that enthused, but I
know that too about
yeah,
me.
yeah. So I have good days and I have bad days just like everybody else, but I really do, like, my heart here is like, I just want to serve people. I just want to help people get better. I've been very successful in my life. I've been very unsuccessful in my life. I wouldn't want people to experience some of the things I experienced, which is why I probably talk so much about, things I've gotten right, but probably more about, hey, these are the things that I got wrong. Cause I think people can learn a lot more from my pain than they can from my successes. And, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I just feel this desire to serve people in a way that helps them, that brings them joy, that helps them create freedom. Those are all of the things that I want. And I believe in that Ziegler quote: if you help enough people get what they want, ultimately you'll get what you want. So,
Well, man, you're right. I mean, there's mistakes and there's unsuccessfulness, and there's the people that, and I consider myself one of those that have trouble sometimes getting out of our own way, right? I remember someone you helped do just that. His name is Matt McCutcheon, right?
Yeah, my boy Matt.
I remember that, and tell us a little bit about because I really want to take today and have it talk about how we're helping people, but also talk a lot about co-marketing. But talk to me about that situation, about getting out of your own way.
I always tell people business is easy, people are hard. Like marketing, advertising, sales, they're actually relatively simple concepts. If you do it long enough, you become proficient at it. But each of those things require a level of consistency in people. And that's where it can get really hard. Everybody that I meet that is not where they want to be says they wish they were more consistent. And I always try to flip this for people and say, well, you are actually very consistent. And they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, you're just consistently doing the things you don't want to do. Like, but you're telling yourself that you are not consistent. Your identity is one of the single most things that you can develop, most important things that you can develop. And I've found that to be true in my personal development walk, is that nothing has created more powerful transformation in my life than my identity. And that is something that people don't really pay a lot of attention to. They just kind of go on about life. And I have found that, we both have a mutual friend, John Cheplack. He always asks that question, like, what's the one change you can make that changes everything? Identity. That's the answer for anybody that's looking at, like, you could go spend millions of dollars in masterminds. But if you can learn how to change your identity, which is the beliefs that you have about yourself, you will create earth-shattering change in your life. And I think it will help you overcome the consistency challenge, because the reality is everybody that just heard me say that, like, oh yeah, he's right. I am consistent. I'm just consistently not doing the things that I want to do. So you can stop saying that you are not consistent. And I think that it's so important, because your word is your wand. Everything that you say after the words I am becomes an established belief, and your supercomputer of a brain starts to program that reality for you. And that means, very simply, if you say I am rich, you will become rich. I am poor, you will become poor. Everybody listening to this is like, this guy's full of crap. I am not full of crap. I'm telling you right now, I have changed many, many, many bad parts of myself simply by telling myself I am this. Because what happens is, I always like to tell this story because I think it's kind of funny. My wife doesn't get so much of a kick out of it, but I remember we were, still pretty early on in our marriage, and she walked into the bathroom at the house, and I'm sitting there looking at myself. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, I was just telling myself how good I am with money. And she literally laughed out loud. She was like, you are not. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no. I haven't been, but I am now. I'm very good with money. And she kind of looked at me weird. But what I was doing is I was changing my identity. I was creating a fork in the road. Like, no. I haven't been. I haven't been good with money, past tense, but I am good now. And guess what? That afternoon, I had a money situation pop up, and I just got to take a second pause, say, well, I'm good with money now. So what would a person that's good with money do in this particular situation? They would go this way. And I just started making different choices. Everybody can do that. You can do it with your money. You can do it with your weight. You can do it with your, your marriage. You can do it in any one way. So this obviously kind of taking quite a personal development tangent here, but I think just realizing that your identity is the most powerful thing about yourself. And if you're intentional in curating an identity that gets you the life you want, I think you're going to find it will be much easier to become successful. If you keep telling yourself that you are something that you're not, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you keep saying, I am not consistent, I'm going to tell you right now, you will never be consistent. You will always be consistent. You're just consistently doing the wrong things, but your belief, our actions will never contradict the beliefs that we have about ourselves. So if you believe that you are something or that you're not something, it's set in stone.
I think I completely agree with you. It's all about the actions. I mean, people say, you want more business, but what are you doing to get more business? I am a successful real estate agent. It reminds me of a stupid joke I heard a long time ago, which is really important and really brings this home, I think, is there was this guy who would go to church every day and he'd pray, God, I want to help me win the lottery. God, I want to win the lottery. God, I want to win the lottery. He did this for weeks on end until one day God comes down and says, and taps him on the shoulder and says, dude, would you help me out? Would you at least buy a ticket? So it's wanting something, and manifestation is a real thing, but you have to take the action in order to do it. We talk about that guy wanting to win the lottery. God help me win the lottery. If you're not going to listen to what God is telling you when you ask that question, the answers always come, right? And that's where the action is required. You want to be a better agent. You want to make more money. You got to change your actions. Changing your identity is what you're talking about. Like how do you identify? If you go to work and know you're going to make, you'll have 10 conversations. If you don't pick up the phone to have those conversations, well, what good is it to say that you're successful or you're actually doing the work because you're not doing the work? Nobody's lazy. We're just stuck in inactivity. Would you agree with that sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, I've been in I just sold my house. We closed on Wednesday. And then you get down to like the last 7 days where the house has got to close. I don't know if I've ever worked so hard in my life, man. I had, 16-hour days there back to back to back to back. I had to go all the way through Sunday, no breaks. It's like, well, hey, Grant, I need this. Okay, that's going to have to wait until my closing is done. Oh, Grant, I need this. Oh, it's going to have to wait until my closing is done. Now I'm using like a relatively easy example, but I think a lot of people in real estate, especially right now, because of the state of the market the last few years, they're paralyzed. It's not even that they're like out there doing a bunch of stuff. It's that they are paralyzed by the reality of their circumstances. Like, oh my gosh, I've got to have money to do this and this to this. There's so much pressure to perform in real estate right now. And it's just not the best market. I think it slowly has been turning for the last, 12 to 16 months, but it's just been hard. It's been very hard. A lot of people are at the end of their rope. And so I think that we're stuck in inaction because we're paralyzed by reality and by the circumstance. How pissed off I get when I go to eat Mexican food with my family and my bill's $80 when it used to be 30. Like,
oh, that's probably your first. Never mind. I won't get into food. We're not going to get into food in this conversation.
Well, it's just the reality of the situation, right? It's like, man, I think the world is a little bit of like, they're stuck in inaction right now because it's like, what am I going to do? This all seems so insurmountable. It seems like these are really big challenges. And I don't think people are stuck in inaction for the reasons that they have been in the past. Like we all get so like if we go back like 10 years and it's like the good times, what we perceive now to be like the good times, it's like, oh man, these people are lazy. I don't think they're lazy right now. I think they're just like, man, what the hell am I going to do? Like, I think they're scared more than anything. And that paralyzes people.
I want to give you a little pushback on that. And here because I've seen a little bit more than a lot of people have.
Yes.
And what I've noticed.
Thanks for telling everybody you're old.
Old. I don't let the old guy in, as Morgan Freeman says. But anyway, here's what you have to here's what markets look like, right? So in the 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 08, everybody, and also in the late 80s, early 90s, late 80s especially, there were fist fights in driveways because there was no inventory out there. Inflation was worse than it is today. And people were overbidding for houses. My first house I bought in 1986, kind of at that top of that market for 179,000, and in 92 sold it for 172,000. That's a huge loss for me. But then again, what happened there happened in right after 9/11, and it also happened as things got so great after 9/11, 05, 06, 07, and then 08, 9, 10, 11, 12. What it is and what happened from COVID to now. This album was turned over to side B. And what I mean by that is side A was, you did business without working so hard. You did business. If you had a listing, bam, you were making money. You were gonna sell that house. If you had a buyer and you knew a little bit about negotiation, you could do it. And now what happened? The same thing after COVID. It turned. What happened was, in my opinion, to a point, is that we unlearned what we learned during the good times on how to work and how to prospect and how to go after business because it got easier. My one pet peeve these days in the 2020s of the real estate business is this highest and best use shit where people, not highest and best offer. I think that's a lot of crap because it takes away the negotiation. I said to one agent, I said, why don't you just talk to each buyer? She says, well, that would be putting one buyer against another. I said, exactly. That's your job. That's called negotiation. That's called sales. But my point is this, in the long sort of way, things changed and it got easy and then things got hard. We unlearned what we knew, and whoever got into business in the easier times were never taught how difficult the business could be. And that's where we're stuck, right? So being stuck is a good thing because being stuck means you haven't given up. So anyway, that's my little soliloquy on where we're going and where the activity needs to change, because there are people increasing their business today.
Absolutely. We all got lucky, like in the COVID times. Like you could just think about real estate and it would sell. You could think about getting a listing and you'd have it. You could think about getting 50 over asking and it was there. Like those are really fun times. But what is that old saying? Like cash hides mistakes. Like you're right. Some people got into the industry during COVID, and then you go 3 years later, it's like, what the hell is happening? Like what is going on? Now I have to follow up with a lead 20 times when I used to only have to follow up with them 8 times. So you're right. People are making money. People are moving from inaction to action. I think what I was just kind of recognizing is that some people are stuck in inaction because of their circumstance. If you will do the same thing as if you were eating an elephant, like just take it one day at a time, one bite at a time. Don't try to do too much. Start making a call a day. I have a client, he's in the finance industry. And when we started working together, I was like, I just want you to make one phone call a day. That's it. And as we worked together a little longer, we realized that he got most of his business from lunches and dinners with potential clients. Like that's where most of his business would come from. And those lunches and dinners were typically referrals from his existing clients. Man, business gets really easy when you know that. It's like, okay, well, I just want you to make one phone call a day and set up one lunch a day. Guy had $5 million hit his account on Monday. We've been working together 6 months. That's just from one prospective client. He didn't really even realize how much money he was making. And when we put it all down on paper, a guy averages 50 grand a month net. And I'm like, this is where the people are hard part comes in. It's like, there's money out there, dude. A lot of people are making a lot of really good money right now. If you'll just focus on the right things, keep the main thing, not try to overcomplicate any of this stuff. Just do the easy stuff well. He was like, is it really this easy? He's like, I've always thought it was really hard. I'm like, yeah. Business is easy. People are hard. Like business really is this easy. You're the complicated part.
Grant. So answer this for me, Batman. Business is easy. People are hard. So he made one change. He started making calls and starting having dinners and lunches with people. It was as simple as that, making a call here and there.
Yep. Well, so I think it was as easy as getting the mindset right. Can I tell the story about how I flew to New York, since you just called me Batman, and was with you on Easter? Can I tell a story on you? Will you be vulnerable for a minute and let me tell this story?
Yes.
All right. So I get a call from old Daddy Dave here. And it's like, hey, man, things aren't well. Things aren't going as good as I want them to go, yada, 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 without getting into too much of the details. And I said, well, do you have plans this weekend, this week, like whatever? It's like, no, we're good. It's like, okay. Well, and this was Easter, mind you. So I hop on a plane with my brother on Easter. My wife was not happy. And we get into New York that night. You take us to a Yankees game, get into your office the next morning. Now, when we get into the office the next morning, this is one of my favorite parts of the entire story. You were very flustered. And you were going a mile a minute, Speedy Gonzalez. I got this. I was like, hey, let's take a second here. Let's take a step back. I said, do you have $10 in your wallet? And you were like, yeah, I think so. Why? It's like, cool. I'm going to ask you to do something, and you have to do it. No questions asked. Okay, what is it? Cool. I want you to go to the grocery store and buy a bouquet of flowers. And who is the first person that comes to mind that you should take them to? And you sat there and looked at me like I had 6 heads. And you said, I know somebody. I said, great, go do that. And then come back to me and we'll talk more about the business stuff. Do you remember how the rest of the day went? Mm-hmm. I do. You came back and it was like you knew instinctively what to do. Like I don't even remember talking that much about business with you. At least about what your actual problem was. Because you came back and you're like, I get it. I know what I need to do. And I think it was so fun for me. It was so cool because the reality was like the business wasn't the problem. Dave was the problem. Dave was in his head, had too much going on, too many problems that he felt. But when he stopped thinking about himself and he turned around and went and gave to somebody else. And I think it deeply touched the person that you took flowers to because you were kind of, emotional about it when you got back. It was like you instantly knew what action that you needed to take. And I don't remember talking about business at all with you the rest of the day. I remember going and eating some food because we like food, but I don't remember that much talking about business. And then when we left New York, you knew exactly what to do. You went bang, 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 bang. And then, look up, I don't know how many years later, and we're here on a podcast. But I think the essence of what I am trying to say is like, that is an example in my mind of business is easy, people are hard. We get in our own heads. We let our circumstances drive our behavior, and we get so cloudy in here. And then when you immediately stopped and started just focusing on how you could serve other people and give to somebody else, it changed everything about your mental clarity. You knew what to do, boom, you acted, and you were off to the races. And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, that's where I think people are at. Like if we as a society can just stop thinking about ourselves and our problems. If I sit too long and think about the $80 food bill to go take my family out when it used to be 30, I get real pissed off, real upset, because these are all things that were completely and totally out of my control. The goalpost was moved again, right? It's like, oh, I got to this income level, and now it's like I was, it's like, what the hell is this? Like, why would anybody be jacked up about this? This sucks. But okay, I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to help somebody else today. I'm going to help another Dave today. And if I can do that, you can do that. And if you can do that, you can change your life. You can change your whole life. You will be more successful in one of the worst markets we've had in decades than anybody else will have been in the COVID era when money was printing on trees, or money was going on trees. So I don't know. That's my whole point. Thanks for letting me tell that story.
Oh, you're welcome. And just a little bit more to that story is the next thing we did was you asked me to write down what I was grateful for.
Yes.
Okay. And that day, I don't know how long ago that was, but that day was the first day I started doing that every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've added a little bit to that as to what I do with my gratitudes and stuff and affirmations. But I have so many filled up journals with 3 things I do every day. I write a little something to get out of my head. I write my gratitudes, and I write affirmations. I have boxes of books, boxes of journals. and I just ordered some new ones. So I continue to do that on a regular basis. And what I have found is that there are days, I'm flustered for time. Still today, today was a great day, but there was a lot of things I had to do before 7 a.m. And I still had the time to do that. And what it did was I said, I'm not going to rush through this. Every day I said, do not rush through it, because I know by the time I get midway through those gratitudes and those affirmations, I'm excited. I'm excited about the gratitudes I have and the affirmations of what I'm going to accomplish. And, if I say I'm going to win the lottery, I do buy the ticket. So that's one thing I can tell everybody is make sure that you're actually doing the work. And I know it's really hard. I know doing the work is really hard. I know changing what you want to do is hard. Look at me. I mean, I've gone from working with a family company, having my own brokerage, and, the difficulties of running a brokerage. People got to understand that the broker does not make all the money. That's why they call them brokers, right? So when they own the brokerage, they ain't making a ton of money. When you own a team and this is the way you do it, and that's the way it's going to be, and this is what you're getting paid. And if nobody wants to work for you, so be it. That's how you make money. But the point I'm making is that a lot of changes in my life have happened over the number of years where I walked away from sold my brokerage a number of years ago to now, where I'm actually reinventing myself now, today, starting a month ago, 2 months ago. I'm reinventing myself. And as you probably can all tell, I wasn't born recently. So, just understand that it doesn't matter what you are, who you are. Take care of yourself and make sure you do the work. Okay, enough of that. Thank you so much for bringing up a great memory. So let's talk about your journey in business. I mean, you've really changed gears a lot, and you've seen. I mentioned blue ocean earlier about Facebook ads, and you saw the blue ocean turn red, and it took a little while to get there, but you also knew there was a switch. You made the switch, you made the change, and as time went on, you had to make another one.
Yeah.
And now we're into the co-marketing thing. So I want to talk about co-marketing.com. What is co-marketing? Co-marketing.com, your company, your business. What problems is that solving for people?
I think the problem that we solve is profitability. We're in a time where profits are at an all-time low, and that is if people have profits at all. Our kind of ideal client are teams that sell at least 100 houses a year, and a lot of teams are struggling. And so what we do at comarketing.com is we help formalize partnerships with home service providers. So think movers, roofers, painters, electricians, et cetera, which allows a team leader and an agent to add a new revenue stream to every transaction. So if I can step into your organization and add an extra $50 to $150 to $500 in revenue per deal, and you sell 100 houses a year, it's a lot of money, right? It stacks the profit. And I think this is a lesson that I learned a long time ago. I wrote a big post about this yesterday because we've got an event coming up. Is when I was 21, I started a real estate company. So I actually owned a brokerage. Somebody came to me and said, hey, let's start a 100% commission-based agency. I was like, oh, this is amazing. We wanted to be in 500 markets in 5 years. We had this aggressive growth plan. I was recruiting like crazy. What I didn't know then that I know now is 100% commission-based models thrive when they have additional revenue streams, and they fail when they don't, which means if I'm not making more money on the mortgage, the title, the insurance, the fees I charge, the home service partnerships, then I'm not going to make it in business. And I think what's cool about that is that a real estate agent today, or a team leader more specifically, has that opportunity, and you get to make the bulk of the commission from the transaction, where I wasn't at the time. And if people are making the bulk of the commission right now and struggling, It's not a good sign. And I would venture to say that a lot of these people probably are profitable. They're just not feeling it because of cash flow. You could make $100,000 in profit this year, but if your cash flow is tight, you always feel broke, right? I've been there and it sucks. David, I know you've been there. It sucks to be sitting there with the accountant at the end of the year saying, here's how much profit you made, and being like, where was it? Where is it? I don't have any of this money. What are you talking about? That's what I do, is I solve a revenue generation problem that I think right now is really important. And I think it's something that people have wanted for a long time. Everybody that I've been in the real estate industry now for 15 years. Everybody I've ever talked to has wanted to be able to make money on the referrals they send out to service providers, but there's not really been like a clear, clean, simple, compliant way to do it. And that's what I couldn't put down 3 years ago. It's like, no, there's something here. Like anybody listening to this can make an extra $1,200 per transaction from the mortgage provider. Anybody listening to this can make an extra $500 to $800 on the title. Anybody listening to this can make a few shekels on the insurance. Anybody listening to this can make an extra $150 to $500 per transaction from partnerships you curate with home service providers. Anybody. You sell a house a year, it doesn't matter. You can do this. But if you sell a house a month, if you sell 10 houses a month, that revenue can really compound. And so that's what I focus on doing now, is helping team leaders add new revenue stream to the business, and therefore bring in an extra $150 to $500 per transaction in profit. I know it's a dirty word in the real estate space. Everybody likes to talk about the top line revenue, but that's what I focus on. More revenue per transaction.
Okay. So how does one set this up? How is this all work? So go get a little bit of the nitty-gritty of how it works.
Yeah. So what we do is we build every single person that we partner with a simple website. We call it your network page. It just has a list of all of the vendor partners that you've got. So it's as easy as that, a client says, hey, do you have a plumber? And you send them your link to your network page to say, yeah, I got 3 different plumbers, take a look at them and choose which one you want to work with. The client opts into that little lead form. And then because you've set up paying partnerships, or if you want, we can do that for you. The plumber pays you $40 whenever the client opts in to get a quote for the plumbing work. That's the simple, structure that we've put in place for people. The hard part I think a lot of people have is like, well, I don't really know how to put the partnerships together. I don't know how to price it. I don't know how to talk to these people. I feel weird doing that. And our solution to that is a tool that we built called Partner Finder. So Partner Finder is an omni-channel AI agent named Alex that we built that will call, text, and email home service providers on your behalf and put a partnership together. It is very cool. I've been on the phone for about 3 years manually putting partnerships together. Partner Finder has already in a month done more work than I did in the last 3 years, which is just mind-blowing to me. But it's putting partnerships together left and right. It's calling service providers. So some people, when they come to us, oh yeah, I got a list of like 10 people I recommend all the time. They just give us that list of 10 people. Alex calls them and we put the partnerships together. He'll talk about what the preferred partner program is, which is what I recommend you call this. If you're listening to this, it's like, what is this thing I have? I have a preferred partner program, which is a pre-vetted list of vendors that I recommend for moving, roofing, plumbing, painting, handyman work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's all it is. It's just a pre-vetted list of service providers that you recommend to people. Everybody in real estate already has this because you use it on almost every transaction. I need an electrical guy here. I need a roofer here. I need a painter there. I'm just helping you formalize partnerships with those people so that it's mutually beneficial. What is the number one thing that a platform like Zillow has from a value proposition standpoint? They've got traffic and data. A lot of people go to the website and they store all that data and then they sell it to you. That's all a lead is. It's a data point. It's a name, email, phone number, interest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's data points. That's what they are. They're a data company. That's what they're selling you is their data. Why should you as a real estate agent invest hundreds of thousands of dollars annually to grow a business and then give away your data and get nothing in return? Well, because Grant, I can't because of RESPA. That's not true. RESPA regulates settlement services, mortgage, title, insurance, home warranty. does not regulate movers, roofers, painters. Like there's 30 different industries that you guys could be doing business with this way. Why would you give away the single greatest asset that you own, your customers? Amazon doesn't give away their customers. Zillow doesn't give away their customers. Walmart doesn't give away their customers. Starbucks doesn't give away their customers, i.e. their data, because it's the most valuable thing you own. This is what I wish real estate agents understood. And this is where I get real fired up and passionate. And I'm getting ready to make a big, big bet on what I'm about to tell you. Real estate agents are the single most valuable contributors in a community. Everybody I know wants a partnership with a real estate agent. Everybody. It's why you freaking don't pick up your damn phone whenever, a seller that's got a $1.1 million listing and wants you to list it calls. It's because everybody freaking calls you. Everybody wants to work with real estate agents. But for some reason, real estate agents are kind of like locked themselves in this box of like, well, I have nothing to give. I have no value. Don't have this. I don't have that. And I'm not saying all of them do. But when I talk about like altruistically just serving people and trying to help people, I hope that I could help you realize, like, if you're listening to this and you're in real estate, you are one of the most valuable members of your community. And you don't recognize that. A lot of people don't recognize that. As somebody in my shoes, like the work that I've done the last 5 years specifically, my job is to come into real estate organizations and find money. And I'm very good at it. I'm very good at it. Like I can come into an organization and say, okay, boop, 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 boop. You need to start doing email marketing. And if you do, this is what's going to happen. Bet, did it. We've now seen over $1 million in GCI come in the business because we added email marketing. Perfect. Boop, 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 boop. You need to fix your sales process because if you do, that's going to unlock your entire business. Okay, boop, did it. Increased Zillow conversion rates 360%, got the Flex account. Business is now doing this. Perfect. You need to add a compliance fee or transaction fee to every single deal that you do. If you do that, you sell 100 houses a home, you're going to add $50,000 a month in pure profit to the business. How do I like that one? You need to add an event to your business. If you do it, it's going to add this much revenue to the business. Boop, 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 boop. Now we have an extra $400,000 a year coming into the business. These are all real stories. I'm like telling you real stories of things that have actually happened in the last few years. I had one. Hey, you need to add a course to your business because you have all this influence and you have no way to monetize the community. Added the course, boom, over $40,000 in monthly recurring revenue coming into the business in 1 month. Flip flop, boom, boom. Did another launch, got all the way up to $75,000 in monthly recurring revenue. This is free cash flow the person used to buy a building. It's like, this is what I was really good at. And so what I saw in all of these teams was this missing component, these partnerships that were there. They're a natural part of your real estate business, but almost nobody was taking advantage of it. And that's where the idea to start building these preferred partner programs came from. My very first person I did this with, we made him $7,000 in monthly recurring revenue in the first 7 days. I just don't think you guys understand how much money you've got sitting in your business, but that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking, I got to go sell more houses. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think that's the answer right now. It's going to be the answer in 2 to 3 years. It's not the answer right now.
So let me play devil's advocate a little bit here. So I'm an agent doing 15, 20 deals a year. But great, I tell people, I give my plumber's name out, I give my handyman's name out, the chimney guy, etc. I give all that out. I mean, I'm going to charge them for it. Is that what I'm doing? I'm charging them. I'm charging, my quote unquote team members for that.
Yeah. If I send you a lead and you're a plumber, and you got a $12,000 plumbing job from it, and I got nothing. The plumber's paying Angie's List. Why shouldn't they pay you? The electrician's paying Facebook. Why shouldn't they pay you? The painter's paying Google. Like you are literally the only person, if you're giving out referrals for free, that is not being compensated commensurate to the value that you provide. Absolutely. I want and this, I may be unique in this. I want mutually beneficial partnerships. I don't want one-sided relationships where I just have to give everything and get nothing. Why would I want to do that from a business standpoint? Maybe from a personal standpoint, it's like, well, I like Tony a lot and he helps my clients and I don't want to charge him. Cool, that's your prerogative. I don't give a crap. I'm just saying I want mutually beneficial partnerships where people are investing in me. Why would I not want that from a business perspective? Yeah, maybe Tony's kid has cancer and he really needs work right now. And if you make the decision you're going to give him business, that is good for you. Give him free business. There's 29 other industries to charge. You should charge them because they are making hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off of the referrals that you're giving them for free, and you're getting nothing in return, and you're drowning. This is a silly conversation in my mind. When profit's at an all-time low, people say, well, no, I just want Tony to win. Yeah, but Dave's got to win too, because Dave can't help Tony if Dave loses.
Yep.
This fires me up. This fires me up so much because
that's all right, man. Everybody wants that new income stream. What?
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say everybody wants to make more money, and it doesn't have to be always, pounding the phones more or going on more appointments or doing more open houses.
Dave, everybody's doing that right now. Everybody has 2x their productivity or their activity, but their productivity is stagnant or it's increased just a little bit. So there are times where selling more houses is not the answer. I have been in so many rooms with so many genius marketers and genius business guys. I'm talking Russell Brunson spoke on his stage late last year. Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins spoke on their stage last year. Sometimes Jay Abraham is the godfather of internet marketing. Is this guy that walks into the business. There's 3 ways to make more money in a business. I'm going to miss one of them because I can't remember them all. But one is to sell more of the product that you have to sell, i.e. sell more houses. The other way is to go to your existing customer base and get them to pay you more money. This is where we talk about LTV of a customer, the lifetime value of a customer. Now, in real estate, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can get more referrals from them, but almost nobody wants to pick up the damn phone and call their past clients and get referrals, which is hilarious because it's the number one thing that you should be doing. If you buy a customer from Zillow, which is what happens when you buy a lead and then you get a customer, you bought your business. The way that you make more money off of that, because you may have only gotten a 2x or 3x return on your spend, is you get more referrals. Now, the second way to do that, because of what we do, is if you're a client of mine, I want you to think of me if you need to replace your air filters. As a matter of fact, I'll come do it for you. Why? Because if your real estate agent is becoming known as more than just somebody that sells a house. No, this person literally is my home maintenance plan. If I need a crack in the tile, I'm calling my agent. If I need plumbing, if I need electrical, if I need painting, I'm just going to call Grant because Grant's got it figured out. He's got all the guys. He's going to even maybe come out and do some of this stuff himself. Now, why would I do that? A, I'm going to get paid every single time one of my preferred service providers gets recommended to do that project. I'm making money. B, I'm going to get more referrals because I am taking care of the customer for the life of the customer. A lot of people in real estate think that your relationship ends when the transaction's done, and it's why you are not winning big. And if I do that, I'm going to get more referrals. I'm going to make more money on my co-marketing partnerships. I'm going to grow that LTV. So if your LTV of a customer, lifetime value, is one $10,000 commission check, but I take that same customer and I make them worth $100,000, then how much money can I spend to get the customer that you can't? I can spend your entire commission check to get that customer because I understand the LTV. I understand the back end game here. And then I remember the third way to make more money in a business is to create a new product. Create a new product that you sell, which goes back to increasing how much your existing customer base pays you. We know a lot of people in business, especially in the real estate industry. We know big people like John Sheplak as an example. This guy's got multiple products, right? He's built an audience, makes a lot of money from the audience, but then he has other products that he sells to that audience, which increases LTV. So it's like, if you're an agent or a team leader, you are a business owner. You have a business. And those are the 3 ways you can make money in your business. I just think right now, selling more of a product isn't exactly an option unless you're recruiting your face off, which I believe 100%. Obviously, if you pick up more agents and your per agent productivity on a team is one house sale per month per agent, that's a way that you're going to grow by selling more houses. But beyond that, there's not a lot of ways to just go out there and sell more houses when you have a team of 10 agents or a team of 20 agents and you're not necessarily growing in body count. Is like, it's not, I don't think that's just the answer right now.
Right. I think one of the things that I'm looking at when people say they don't want to do this, and they're not thinking about the words, but the question might be, well, we talk about how important relationships are and how important it is to have them and to build them, whether it's a buyer, seller, vendor, right? But aren't I turning these relationships into transactions instead with this?
No, you're just maximizing the value of the relationship that you've got.
Is there,
Dave, how many times?
All the time.
You and I have done business together how many times?
A lot.
At least a dozen. At least to the tune of $50,000, $60,000, $75,000, if not more. Sure. Right. If you go back to legacy and all of that stuff. I don't view that as a transactional relationship. Do you?
No, I never. You
sing me happy birthday on my birthday every year. Like we argue about steaks. Like we have a relationship. Right. There happens to be this side benefit to our relationship where we've done business together. I don't view that transactionally, and I don't think that you do either. And I don't think that your customers do either. Like I just don't believe that and I'm saying that because I know the type of relationship I've built with you over time. It's special and it's unique. The same way I've built a relationship with a guy like John Cheplack or Sunita Agarwal or Barry Jenkins or Gary Ashton or Justin Haver or Carrie Scholl or Deborah Beagle or Tom Ferry, like any of these people. Like I don't view any of these as transactional relationships. Some of these people pay me and I pay some of these people, but like that's just a piece of it. It's not the whole thing. I don't view it as transactional, and I don't think that they do either. And I don't think your customers will. I think your customers view it as like, man, this guy is going above and beyond the real estate transaction to add value to me and my family. I want him to win, and I'm going to share everybody that I know that needs a real estate agent is they need Grant Wise or they need Dave Fanale. I think that's what goes on in people's minds when you show up and you just serve. Now, I don't show up and say, hey, do you want to do business? Like, hey, give me $100. Hey, do this let me do this for you. And then I'll make money. Like, I don't do any of that stuff. I just show up and serve. It doesn't feel like I'm being greedy or like I'm asking for money or any of that stuff.
One of the things that I notice every day online and in my feeds is that, and Jay Kinder puts it this way, says everybody's got their hand in your pocket. Everybody wants something from you. Everybody wants to sell you this or that and the other thing. The difference here is that there really is a key for it to make you more money. Would people ever say to you that, oh, I've tried that, it doesn't work, or I put my own network together? Has that ever come up to you?
Yeah.
And what's the difference, Grant?
What I heard a lot of is like, yeah, I've tried that before. I didn't know how to put the agreements together. I didn't want to chase payments. I didn't want this thing or that thing. I didn't know how to track it. And so I would say that's the difference is like, you don't know how to put the agreements together. It's already done. You don't know how to track the payments. It's already done. You don't know how to track the leads that are being sent. Already done. I think what makes comarketing.com so different is that the agent and the team leader will remain the core beneficiaries. If you sell a lead for $100, you keep 90% of that money. I just make a small fee on every transaction. You're going to be the core winner here. But also I've made it really easy to formalize a partnership with a service provider. And I made it really easy to send them a lead. And I made it really easy to track. And I made it really easy to collect the payments because all of it happens simultaneously the moment you do it. And I think that's probably the biggest complication I've seen is that in the past, it's like, well, yeah, people just want me to pay them an annual fee and come slip my business cards at their office, and I never got anything from it. Or people want me to pay for this or pay for that, and I don't ever get anything in return. Or I can't track my ROI, even if they did send me customers. I don't know that they came from the. We've completely eliminated the ambiguity in these relationships and made it very easy to partner with somebody else and track it and get paid from it and track your ROI from it and all of that stuff. And I think that's the big difference. And I've had people, C-suite guys ask me from big companies, Grant, a lot of people have tried what you're doing in the past. Why do you think that comarketing.com can work? And my immediate response was, because the agent is the winner within comarketing.com. The agent, the team leader, the broker owner, they're the core beneficiaries of the business model, not me. They make the lion's share of the money whenever a transaction takes place, whenever a lead is sold. I've got accounts I could show screenshots of. We've got one team that made $190,000. We've got another team that just cracked 90. I've got other teams that are making $2,000 to $3,000 a month or more. All of that money goes to them. That's why I think the model will continue to flourish, is because I'm not the one that's coming in here making all the money from this. It's really the agents and the team leaders and the broker owners. And so I think those are some of the reasons.
You mentioned earlier you have an event coming up. That's on June 25th. You want to talk a little bit about that, what that called, and if anybody's interested in getting involved?
Yeah, the Partner and Profit Live Virtual Summit. I'm really excited about that. At a time where, everything that we've talked about is true. Profits are at an all-time low. Transaction volumes at an all-time low. A lot of these things are happening. We did not get rate news that we wanted to get from the Fed a few days ago. There's just a lot of stuff that's happening. I think the number of transactions is going to steadily climb, but I don't think it's going to climb as fast as we want it to, which means how can I generate more revenue? It's more lines of revenue per transaction, not more transactions. And so I'm bringing in guys like John Cheplack, Brendan Brittingham, Deborah Beagle, Spring Benson, Justin Haver, and we're all talking about tried and true ways that we have added new revenue to the transaction through mortgage joint ventures and title joint ventures and insurance partnerships and home service partnerships, which is what we do at Comarketing. On top of that, we got Brittingham talking about investing and some of those things. And so that's what the event is. It's a free event. It's roughly 4 hours on June 25th. Although if you want, you can come as a VIP and get the recordings. But yeah, that's what the event is. I'm very excited about it. You just go to comarketing.com/summit if you're interested in checking it out. Really pumped about the event.
Hold on a second. /summit.
Yep.
That it, right?
Yep. That's right.
Awesome. Hey man, today, this week, a special week for us. We are, me and my remote team member Nelson. We're excited about the work that we do on a weekly basis and what we do to try to bring information to not only consumers but to agents as well. Being able to do this by deciding one day that I can show up every week. I think I've done a pretty good job at doing that, and bringing value to people with different conversations. I try to make this more of a conversation than an interview. Well, people still call it interviews. That's fine. I don't care. It's about having a conversation with someone that has expertise and trying to get to different places other than what you're going to see with the normal media. I want to thank you for being an influence to me over the years. And being my friend, and I want to thank everybody that's ever watched the broadcast. I have people that I know that all of a sudden come up and tell me about, they saw this broadcast with somebody and they couldn't believe it. I didn't even know they saw it. I didn't even know I did it, but it happens all the time. And I'm really I get really excited and I feel real good inside when I hear that. But today is 416 weeks in a row. We've done 6 extra episodes. That's why it's 422 and not 416. And I'm proud of those extra episodes. They were Chet Black twice. Who else were they? They were Brent Gove twice, Tom Ferry. And what was the sixth one? The sixth one was Glenn Sanford. So, some big names. And, when you put those together with a Grant Wise, who belongs in that category as well. And last week, Ashley Krasinski, who is on the Align team here in New Jersey, who is doing so much business, she does not know what to do. We had a long conversation, her and I, yesterday about, how we can streamline and get her where she's doing things she loves to do, which is being out on the road. She was our guest last week, and true testament to opportunity. And that's what our lives are. When we change our identities, more opportunities open up. And my opportunity here is to thank you for being a great part of my life, and everybody else. Thanks so much for being on the broadcast. So I'm going to ask you the question I ask everybody. Well, okay. So there's one thing I did miss in the beginning, which I'm going to add in the end. So this is called Real Estate Talk TGIF. Grant, what does TGIF stand for?
Thank God it's Fanale.
Of course it does. Of course it does. And thank you so much for knowing that. I apologize for not doing it at the beginning. But the last question I really have for you is the most important question I ask everybody every week. How do I help you grow your business?
I'm going to give you the same answer I give you every year, man. Keep being you. I love and appreciate you. I think you're a special guy, and you add a lot of unique flavor to what you do in this industry and the contributions you make. Very grateful for you and grateful for the show. It's pretty awesome to have seen you stick with this and go strong for 416 weeks in a row. It's just not something a lot of people will do. Major commitment, and it's awesome to see. So thank you for being who you are, man. And I appreciate it a lot. I know everybody else does too.
Thank you so much for that, Grant. I really do appreciate it. Everybody, we continue next week. We have Brian Speciete coming on, who is the president and chief marketing officer of Realty Forte. He's going to talk about how important the marketing is for you in your business and how it can really increase your business. So that's going to be a lot of fun with Brian coming on next week. And of course, the ending it's hard because, Grant, I think you've gotten every hat that I've had. And I don't know if I can put these on, but we got a new 8-year special edition coming on. It's going to be a combination of these two colors. So that will be coming your way as soon as we get it made this week. Everybody,
Sweet.
Thank you so much. God bless you, Grant, your family. Say hello to Bridget for me. I look forward to, continuing our relationship. Thank you, guys. We'll see you all next week. Nelson, thank you so much.